ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of this great text, Vivekachudamani, authored by Sri Adi Shankaracharya and taught to us by our dear Guru Swami Paramarthananda. We are in the midst of an important topic in our Shastras. This topic begins with the 14th shloka of Vivekachudamani. And if I remember correctly, goes on up to the 40th shloka of this great work. And that topic is adhikaritvam. Adhikaritvam, meaning competence. The competency that a serious spiritual seeker must possess to make a success of his spiritual journey. Let me recite this 14th shloka, an important shloka that begins another important section of this text, and then pick up the thread from where we left. Adhikarinamaशास्ते फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः उपायादेशकालाद्याः सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः. This shloka says, success depends essentially on a qualified aspirant. Success here means spiritual success. Time, the place, and other such means are but auxiliaries in this regard. In which regard? With regard to the success on the spiritual path. So, the competency on the part of a spiritual aspirant is emphasized a lot in our Shastras. Competency equals the sadhana chatushtayam. That Shankara will describe in the upcoming verses. that is borne out, the qualifications required are presented in quite a few places in Srimad Bhagavad Gita too. Bhagavad Gita being a comprehensive teaching manual. For instance, Krishna begins laying emphasis on the Satgunas. Towards the final section of chapter 2, in the Sthita Prajna section, a Sthita Prajna is one who is firmly established in Brahmatma Jnanam. And all the traits that Krishna lists of a Sthita Prajna serve as sadhanams for an ajnani, for a serious spiritual seeker. Sthita Prajna Lakshanani, they are called. They serve as sadhanani for an ajnani. Likewise, in the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga, Krishna lists out the Parabhakta Lakshanani. Parabhakta Lakshanani from Shloka 13 to Shloka 20. The Sthita Prajna Lakshanani in chapter 2 are listed from Shlokas 55 through Shloka 72. The Parabhakta Lakshanani are listed from Shlokas 13 through 20. Again, Parabhakta is equal to Sthita Prajna. And the Lakshanani are the natural traits of a Parabhakta or a Sthita Prajna that serve as the sadhanani for a spiritual aspirant. Likewise, in chapter 13, Lord Krishna lists out 20 virtues. Amanitvam Adi. He calls them Jnanam in the 13th chapter. Why are they called Jnanam? Because they set up the platform of the mind to make it a fit receptacle to receive this divine Jnanam, the Tattvamasi Jnanam. He calls him Jnanam because they establish Patratvam in the spiritual aspirant who follows those 20 values. Then again, in the 16th chapter, Lord Krishna lists out 26 Daivi Sampats. 26 Daivi Sampats. And after listing them out in the fifth shloka of that chapter 16, he says, Daivi Sampat Vimokshaya Nibandhaya Asuri Mata. If you want moksha, you must cultivate Daivi Sampat, says Lord Krishna in chapter 16. And Daivi Sampat means a Sattva Guna Pradhana personality. In fact, in chapter 14, Krishna, when describing the three gunas and their propensities, he says, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. Sattva Guna sets up the mind to receive the Tattvamasi Mahavakya Jnanam. Then in the 17th chapter and in the 18th chapter, Krishna talks a lot about the three gunas with the view that we must eschew or reduce Rajoguna tendencies and Tamoguna tendencies and promote Sattvaguna tendencies, propensities. What for? What for is so much emphasis laid in Srimad Bhagavad Gita on cultivating Sadguna? There has to be a reason, right? Reason is very clear. Cultivating such gunas will develop in ourselves the adhikaritvam, the competency required to approach a qualified acharya and follow to the letter what the acharya teaches. This is why Swamiji, we heard from Swamiji in the last capsule, this is why Srimad Bhagavad Gita is promoted. Teaching the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in public is promoted over and above teaching the Upanishads in public. The study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita makes it easy for an unqualified or underqualified aspirant to understand the direction of travel. It is not that one must not study the Upanishads, but Srimad Bhagavad Gita is more relevant. to present a holistic picture of the spiritual journey. Puja Swamiji, Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati lays a lot of emphasis on studying the Dharma Shastras presented in Srimad Bhagavad Gita through chapters 16 and 17 before entering the main Gita study, so that we can enjoy a fit antahkaranam, that is a fit receptacle to receive the Tattvamasi Jnanam. Puja Swamiji's famous statement that helps us understand what a value is, what these amanitvam adi values are, or values of abhayam, or tejaha, kshamaha, etc. are. Puja Swamiji defines a value as follows: a value is a value only if the value of the value is valued by you. A value is a value only if the value of the value is valued by you and me. Adhikaritvam is valued a lot in our Shastras and by our Shastras and our Acharyas. In the last capsule, we were looking at how Indra, being an Adhikari, was successful in receiving the teaching from Prajapati, Brahmaji, while Virochana, the Asura Raja, being underqualified, left the teaching halfway. He didn't get the full import or impact of the teaching. Likewise, there is a story that is related in the Kena Upanishad to bring out the same point. This is how I ended the last capsule, but I thought I must dwell a little bit on certain portions of Srimad Bhagavad Gita that talk about the topic of adhikaritvam, and therefore I dwelt on those portions. We will look at that story presented in the Kena Upanishad in the next capsule. Hari Om.